promise you no tears, but I promise you will laugh. Can't promise you won't fall, but I promise you.
Hello, thank you for joining us from around the world.
My name is Emem Archibong. I'm a singer-songwriter and I'm also a pharmacist, and I'm based in the UK.
Wow. So singer, songwriter, and a pharmacist. That is quite a collection. Which did you get started on first?
I'm probably singer-songwriter. I've been singing and writing songs since I was like 11, 12 years old. So that's just always been something I've done. And then in terms of my family, my background, and my mom is a professor, my dad is a lawyer, so we're all very academic. So I was encouraged to go down that path when it came to my studies. Yeah.
Wow. And since you're so far away, what was it like for you studying? Did you grow up in the UK, or what was it like for you studying?
Oh, I grew up in the UK. I came here when I was 11. So I came to the UK I've lived here most of my life.
Where did you immigrate from?
Nigeria. That's where my family is from.
Wow. And you said that you had a lawyer in your family. You're a pharmacist.
Yeah.
Is everyone in your family incredibly academically minded?
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
Do you guys go back to Nigeria often?
Yeah, well, we actually went to Nigeria in 2019 for my sister's wedding. And my family visits quite often. I'm the one that doesn't visit as often as I should, but I'm planning to change that.
Well, it sounds like you've got a lot on your plate for making visits to people.
Yeah.
I mean, singer, songwriter, pharmacist, that's a lot to keep up with. How long did you have to go to school for to become a pharmacist?
At the university level, it was 5 years. I have a master's degree in pharmacy, so a 5-year career. Yeah, 5 years.
Wow. And do you feel like you have been able to make time for becoming a singer and songwriter by being a pharmacist?
I think I've just had to just work with the little pockets of time that I have, because like being a pharmacist is very full on. So just any little spare time I have, and the fact that I'm so passionate about music helps, because any spare time I have is what I spend on music, and just that passion has helped me kind of achieve as much as I can.
I feel like in the long term, you're going to really push for more singing and songwriting in your future?
I'm just literally, it all depends on what God has for me, because I really believe that God has a path for everyone. And for me, music is not just a hobby. It's also something that I think is a ministry, something where I share my faith with whoever will listen. So if God wants me to be a singer full time, I believe that's what's going to happen. But I'm happy to combine both. Either way is fine by me.
And I of course, met you through your YouTube channel. So I was kind of watching your videos and getting to hear you sing. I love the fact that you kind of give a step-by-step tutorial for people with helping them learn how to write a song.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people love to sing, but learning the different steps that it takes to become a singer,
yeah,
that can be difficult. What helped prepare you for all of that?
Well, I've been writing songs for as long as I can remember. My first song, I think I wrote it when I was about 12, 13 years old, when I was in school. And also a few years back, probably maybe about 10 years ago, the BBC approached me about doing a songwriting workshop for a show called BBC Blast. So I help like young people write songs, and that kind of helped, like in terms of just my own process. Just because sometimes teaching others can actually teach you. So
absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. And you said BBC Blast. What kind of age range were you working with helping young songwriters?
About maybe between 8 and 14, just really young people. Yeah.
And did you feel any connections with helping them learn music, or was it something you think is going to be kind of a one-time?
At the time it was a one-time thing, but it's something I've really enjoyed, and since then I've done workshops with choirs for different events as well. So it's something I have continued doing whenever the opportunity presents itself.
Always been gospel based?
Oh, not really. Well, initially because my family realized I loved music. So my uncle literally, when I was 11 or so, sent me some songs, some like pop music, like Brandy, Whitney Houston, like all these CDs, and I would just listen and just sing along, and that's just where it grew from. About to say, so basically, initially it was pop, but then as I grew older and I gave my life to Christ, I felt that I wanted to share, like literally the passion became more about sharing my faith through music rather than just singing. And there's nothing wrong with just singing as well. But for me, my own path is to share my faith and to sing songs that inspire and encourage others.
And I think that's something that a lot of people can really connect with, especially if they see your videos. You can see how much you really feel what you're presenting to the world, you know, and that passion is just so full-hearted. It's amazing.
Promise you no tears, but I promise you a laugh. Can't promise you won't fall, but I promise you will rise. Can't promise you no pain, but I promise you will live forever.
Who do you feel has been your biggest influence in your youth?
Whitney Houston, I was a big fan of the way she sings, and also just the way I also admired her courage to share that she was a Christian, because not everyone has that. Not everyone would share that they're a Christian in the arena that she was in, and that really inspired me when I was younger. Yeah.
That's my daughter's favorite singer as well, which I think is pretty amazing. She's only 6, but she will go around the house just belting out, "I want to dance with somebody," you know? So I love that you brought her up. And I think that her story as well, the fact that she's able to share kind of her ups and her downs makes her incredibly inspirational.
Yeah.
Do you have any major influences now who have helped you on your path to being a singer-songwriter?
Yes, I don't know if you've heard of a singer called CC Winans. She was actually friends with Whitney Houston when Whitney was alive. So I really look up to her now. They have a very similar kind of style as well. CC Winans is who I look up to now. And if I can achieve half of her success, that would be great. But I really admire her.
Do you have any vocal coaches, or have you taken any classes for singing, or is it all just natural gifted?
Most of it is natural, but like I said, I'm self-taught, so I just literally just listen to, as a child, just listening to music, sometimes washing dishes in the kitchen and listening to music and singing along, and it just grew from there. But when I was recording my second album, I had I had someone come on the team to actually like do some lessons with me. I think I took about maybe 5 or 6 lessons, but that's the only lesson. Those are the only lessons I've had. But I really believe my gift is from God. Honest, that's what I honestly feel. I feel like it's a gift it's God given.
That you're even having a ministry right now. I mean, that is so inspirational.
Thank you.
Have you ever had any setbacks that you have felt like this would be too much for you to overcome?
Yeah. When I was in school, I was bullied. I was bullied as a teenager, and also the fact that was around when I came from Nigeria, so it was very difficult to fit in at school, and that affected my self-image for a very long time. I was very insecure about not just how I look, but just about myself, and what got me through that really was becoming more serious about my walk with God, like listening to the word of God and finding that, everyone is unique. Everyone has a path that they're meant to walk. And that, we're all different and we're all special. We're all God's children. And that really like helped me kind of overcome that.
I see a lot of students who have a lot of difficulties, especially when they're coming from other areas. Do you feel that was racially based, or was based on you being from another country?
I think it probably was a combination of all of those, but at the time I didn't even see that. I just thought it was me. I thought there was something wrong with me, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awful. It's pretty amazing, though, that you're able to just talk about it so eloquently and not as a setback because it helped you on your journey. And I think that's very impressive. Major achievements that you've ever felt like you doubted you had the ability to accomplish them?
I'm probably going to have to like now go back to pharmacy because there was a time that it basically in my degree, there was the basically you had to study for 4 years, and then the fifth year was like a pre-registration year. And that year that pre-registration year I kind of struggled with a bit, but I came through it. Actually, there was a time I thought I'd never become a pharmacist, but I think part of the thing that drove me was I remember thinking to myself, if I can just become a pharmacist, that will be the gateway to me becoming a singer. And that pushed me more than if I just kind of saw the end goal of eventually being able to like just be free to be able to like just be a singer. If I accomplish the goal of being a pharmacist first.
I mean, a lot of people just think about their passion and they don't think about what can I do to monetarily get me through, you know?
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, what part of pharmacy are you in? So I know like in America, we have like small pharmacies, we have distributors, we have all of those different facets. What area are you in for pharmacy?
Community pharmacy.
So you actually work within?
Yeah, yes. So I work in England. We've got industrial pharmacy, community pharmacy, hospital pharmacy, and there's a lot of other paths you can take. Community pharmacy just means you work in a chemist, like in a chemist shop or a big company like Boots. I don't know if you've heard of Boots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you actually make the medications then?
I actually dispense the medication.
Okay.
And advise people on their medicines, on how to take or any lifestyle changes they need to make for their conditions. And I feel like I'm helping people, and that is like, when I was younger, I thought, okay, music is the dream, right? But like now, I feel like I'm really helping people in pharmacy, and sometimes I'm happy. Actually, most of the time, I'm happy that I'm doing both because I really get to help people. I would say it's quite a small town. It is quite a small town, but it's almost like everyone knows everyone else, which I like because I'm a bit of an introvert. I'm kind of I'm not very outspoken. I'm more of a quiet person, so I like community in a way, community in terms of people, everyone knowing each other, everyone watching out for each other type thing. Yeah.
Do you feel that you get any stage fright whenever you're getting up on stage? Because I know you're singing for a lot of people, so.
Yes, I do get stage fright, and that's something I think we all have something we're working on, and I think that's mine. I have to work on it, and it's better now because when I first, because I've been doing this so long, I know how to kind of use the stage fright to my advantage, because a little bit of tension can help even your vocals. If you just have that little bit of like care that you actually enjoy what you're doing, or this matters to you, can actually help you perform better if you use it. So, for example, before performing, what I'll do is, let's say, usually like when you're performing, you have someone before you who's performing. So, and when they are still performing and I'm next, what I'll do is I'll do some breathing exercises. So first of all, just kind of think to myself, okay, you can do this, and then just take in a deep breath and then count to 10 or whatever while breathing out. Things like that help, like in terms of like, I feel like when you do that, your voice, it just makes a difference. I think singers will understand what I mean. It just makes such a difference because first of all, it calms you down. Just that breathing in itself brings down the anxiety, but also it helps your voice as well.
Yeah, and I think really setting your mindset before you have any big engagement. I mean, sitting there and thinking, I can do this. The way you put that, it's beautifully stated. Feel like you're able to stay current with what's going on in society through your music?
Yes, that's the thing as well. I feel like I'm not really a big fan of listening to the news, but it's something I'm trying to do at the moment because I think it's very important to stay current, especially with the type of music that I sing as well. Because it's not love songs. It's like, it's about life really. So you need to stay up to date with what's going on in the world. So I do try to listen to the news. I do try to listen to other people's stories as well. And that kind of helps me stay as current as I can. And also the leading of God as well. Sometimes the Holy Spirit will say, okay, do this now rather than do that, if that makes sense. And that helps as well.
Yeah, it absolutely does. I love that you're talking about how you're directed through your beliefs. That's very beautiful. Overall, do you feel like your music tells a story? Do you feel like it reveals a part of you?
Yes, it does. I've been writing songs for a long time, but I haven't really recorded any songs. But a lot of my recorded music was about some of the things I was going through at the time. So songs like, actually, I can't mention them because you probably don't know them, but a lot of them are on my YouTube channels. They kind of talk about whatever I was going through and what I learned from those situations.
A lot of them, you have some beautiful cinematography. Do you put together the visuals and the way that it's all going to be formatted by yourself, or how do you work through that?
It's a collaboration. So I get people that specialize in that, and then I give them my ideas, and they literally, sometimes they'll be like, oh, that's a great idea, and they'll work with my idea. Sometimes they'll change the idea a little bit to make it, better, I think. So it's usually a collaborative effort of like a team of people, not a large team, but maybe a few people. We just all collaborate and come together for the ideas.
And are most of those filmed in your local area, or do you guys go outside of your town to film those?
So for some of the videos, yes, we have gone to the surrounding areas. We've gone to places like Harrogate. I think I've done a video in Wolverhampton, which is about 3 hours away from here. I'm very conscious of the fact that your audience are not from the UK, but so we have we've filmed in other parts of the UK. I've done a video in America, but I wasn't there. So basically, the cinematographer did a part of the video. He filmed it in the US. I can't remember which parts now, but yeah. So whatever works, really, we just kind of like film, and wherever they feel it needs to be filmed at for the best visual. So no, what I'm saying is literally for that particular video, the one that was filmed in America, what he did was he got some actors together, and then they did like the acting part of the video. The song is called "Who Am I?" So they did the acting part of the video and featured an actress. And then in England here, I filmed with some musicians, and we kind of like did basically they edited it in such a way that it looked like it was in the same place, but literally we just made it work. It was a lot of fun as well.
That is so interesting. So because my viewers are mainly based in America, I just have to ask, Americans have some assumptions about what the UK is like. How would you describe the environment you were raised in?
I think you get used to it because Bradford is a small town compared to London, because when most people think of the UK, they think London, and London is very busy, but Bradford, once you get used to it, you just, as with anything, I have friends who don't think that it's a great place to live, but I love it because this is where I've grown up, and this is where all my friends and most of my family are. So it's a laid back kind of life as well. And I enjoy it.
Do you feel that the area that you're in is mixed with a lot of different cultures, or is it primarily one type of people?
It's very multicultural, but actually there are mainly a lot of Asians here, and there is a Black community as well. It's very multicultural.
For my last question, I would just like to know, since a lot of my viewers are younger and they're looking into different careers, do you have any advice to help someone who's interested in, since you have two different areas, in either singer-songwriter or becoming a pharmacist, do you have any advice for either of those fields?
I would say work hard. It's very important to work hard at what you want to achieve. And I think it's easier to work hard if you are passionate about what you're doing. So I think when you're picking your career, don't think money, think what do I enjoy? And then you can probably eventually find a way to make money from it to live. But I think work hard and work hard at what you enjoy. That's what I would say.
Those are beautiful.
Promise you no tears, but I promise you a laugh. Can't promise you won't fall, but I promise you will rise. Can't promise you no pain, but I promise you will live forever. Can't promise you no hate, but I promise you will love. Can't promise you won't cry, but I promise you be tough. Can't promise you no pain, but I promise you will live forever. Yeah, yeah, you will live. Yeah, you will be.
Miss J Story Faves. Miss J Story Faves.
Miss J Story Face.
Subscribe now.
And like.